Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on Friday. It is the 10th of June 2022. Gonna look the stakes races on the program from Belmont. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And join me tomorrow for my Belmont Stakes preview. It's gonna be an excellent weekend of racing, so join me for my Belmont previews. But let's look at the stakes action here on Friday's program from Belmont. Races 3, 8, 9, 10, and 11. The third race from Belmont, it's the Better Roses Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $300,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. Only 4 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground here of 1,400 meters, or the 7-furlong trip on the Belmont main track. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs here in the Better Roses. And I show the diagram, just gives me a second to look down my notes, just bear with me. My top selection, I'm going to go take the number 3 horse, the 3 horse who was Bella Sophia. Let's go 3-1-2 in the Tricast trifecta. 3-1-2 Tricast trifecta. Top selection of 3 horse Bella Sophia. This 4-year-old filly by Awesome Patriot. Rudy Rodriguez trains. Luis Saez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 14th of May here at Belmont, 6.5 furlongs in the Grade 3 Vagrancy Handicap, and the horse won by nose and probably wasn't 100% cranked that day, but she was dueling on the front end. She got the job done. Wasn't the most impressive victories, but she got the job done, coming home with a 100 buyer. Coming here second off the bench, back to Belmont, which she's run very well in the past. I think she could really run a good race here today. 2 back, she ran the Brews Cup Filly Mayor Sprint at Del Mar, 7 furlongs on the 6th of November, and she finished 4th by 5 lengths that day. Was with the pace setters early on, but then just completely crumbled. CC just really ran a good race. Edgeo, he finished second when next started out, really ran a good race. This horse just wasn't keeping up with those slightly classier fillies there. And then before that, in the Gallant Bloom Handicap here at Belmont, 6.5 on the 26th of September, the horse won by 3 1/4 lengths. She only had 3 other rivals again that day, but she basically won it on the front end. A very easy race for her there. And then she won the test before that, Saratoga, very nicely. She only made her first career start 13 months ago, but she's always run these good races. When they give her a challenge, she always does well with it. She's training well. Second off the bench, she should be a lot fresher. I'm going to take her here. I know it's a short price, but I'm going to take her. So to recap my selection for the third from Belmont, it is the Grade 2 Better Roses. Going to go with the 3 horse Bella Sophia. Let's go 3-1-2 in the Tricast trifecta. Let's single a 3 in the multi-race. So we're going to scroll over to race number 8, the beginning of the late pick 4 from Belmont. The 8th race, it is the Belmont Gold Cup. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $400,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going to the Belmont Widener Turf Course. The distance of ground here of 3,200 meters, or 2 miles on the Belmont Widener Turf Course. 3,200 meters, 2 miles here. The portable rails are down for the first time this spring here in New York, so they'll be running against the hedge, so the ground will be very fresh. We had a lot of rain early Thursday morning, a lot of thunderstorms like 5 a.m., which woke everybody up, but we should be good the rest of the day here in New York, Thursday into Friday, so we should see a turf course maybe good at post time for Friday's card. Saturday's portion of the card, we might the turf might be a little saturated. I did see some rain in the forecast, but I'll have to go check it again. But lately, the weather forecasters have been a little wrong at times, so you never know. We could be getting snow this weekend. My top selection in the Belmont Gold Cup, I'm going to take the 6 horse Cyberlin as a top selection. I'm going to go 6-1-2-7 in the superfecta. 6-1-2-7 super. Top selection is 6 horse Cyberlin. This 5-year-old gelding by Temple City. Rudolph Brissett trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 3 weeks ago on the 21st of May at Churchill. A mile and a half in the Grade 3 Louisville Stakes, and the horse finished 4th by 1/2 lengths, and he just kind of stalked all the way down the race course. He moved a little bit late, but it wasn't anything spectacular. He's the kind of horse, I think he wants to go a 2-mile trip. He's going to get it today. He gets a little closer. And I think, he could stay the trip while he, 2 back, he ran a allowance race for 100,000 at Keeneland, a mile and a half on the 22nd of April. First off the long refreshing, he finished 3rd by 1/4 lengths. He sat back early. He moved a little bit late. He stayed the trip well. Nothing bad about that run. And then before that, the 14th of October, Keeneland, a mile and a half in allowance race, 87,000. The horse finished 2nd by neck, sat back early, stupidly wide, had the lead, got caught late, but he didn't go down without a fight. Not a bad race after all said and done. And then a race you could throw out. That came at Kentucky Downs, a mile 5/16 and op 62. You either handle Kentucky Downs or you don't. He did not handle the course that day. He finished ninth by 22 and a quarter lengths, and he just was never comfortable in that race. And then before then, the Cape Pendleton at Delaware, a mile and a half on the 16th of August. He finished third by 1.5 lengths, a little bit wide, but he was closing up well. He hasn't won since an allowance race at Churchill, a mile and a half last June, where he won by a neck, and from a tracking position, he got the job done quite nicely. Like I said, I think you're going to see a great price on him at post time. He should definitely stay the trip of ground, and I think a 10-1 watch out for him. Your second likeliest winner is the one horse Loft. There's 4-year-old gelding here. Andres Stark comes in from Germany to ride this horse. Most recently ran a Group 2 there at Hoppergarten over the 2 miles, where he won by a half length, and from a tracking position, he stayed the trip well. Before that at Hoppergarten in the fall, he finished second by 2.25 lengths over a mile 7/8 over the faster ground. And again, he just couldn't get there late, but he still ran his heart out there. And then they ran in the German St. Leger before that at Dortmund, where he finished second by 1/4 lengths. We had a little bit of a trouble trip, but he's another horse. He's proven he could stay the 2-mile trip. The European imports really have good records in this race. At 4-1, let's use him. And the 2-horse Avon, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets the job done. He won over the 2 miles in the Allen Jerkins at Gulfstream on Christmas Eve by 4.5 lengths, where he basically walked on the front end, came back to walk on the front end of the McKnight at Gulfstream last January. He has a lot of forwardly pace. If he goes 117 to 3/4, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. 5-2 will definitely use him here. A horse I'm not betting in. I think it's going to get very bent to the ground. It's 4-horse Outbox. This horse I don't think wants to stay, but I think a lot of Americans are going to see, a European import, and they're going to say, oh my God, this horse is going to run a good race. Not particularly. This horse can't keep up with the Group 2 horses in the UK or in the listed races in the UK, and I just think mile and a half is probably where the horse wants to go. 2 miles today, I just don't think it's going to be to the horse's liking. I'm not going to use it. I think, like I said, that 6-horse. I think you'll get a very good price at post time if they bet this 4-horse Outbox into the ground, who I think has no chance. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Belmont, it's the Grade 2 Belmont Gold Cup. Let's take the 6-horse Cyberland as a top selection. We'll give kudos to the 1-horse Loft and the 2-horse A-Ban. 6-1-2-7 Super, 6-1-2 with the multi-race. The 9th race from Belmont, it is the True North Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $300,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 6 horses going to the main track, the distance of ground here of 1,300 meters, or the distance of ground of 6.5 furlongs on the Belmont main track. 1,300 meters, 6.5 furlongs here in the True North. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 3-horse Jackie's Warrior. Let's go 3-6-5-4 in the superfecta. 3-6-5-4 super. Top selection of 3-horse Jackie's Warrior. 4-year-old colt by McLean's Music. Steve Asmussen trains. Joel Rosario gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the Churchill Downs Stakes at Churchill. 7 furlongs on the 7th of May. And the horse won by 4 lengths. And basically on the front and all throughout, he basically put on a show, quickened up nicely, and all around easy geared down victory. That's the old Jackie's Warrior that showed up 2 back in the Count Fleet Sprint at Oaklawn, 6 furlongs on the slop, 16th of April. The horse won by 3/4 length and had to be used a lot that day. Joel had a little bit of a tough hold on the horse. He got the job done, but it wasn't the flashiest Jackie's Warrior victory. And then before that, the Brewer's Cup sprint at Del Mar over the 3/4 of a mile. The horse finished 6 by 4.25 lengths that day, and was setting some very wicked fast pace, and then just really crumbled late. Couldn't keep up. Aloha West really closed up from nowhere to get the job done. It just wasn't her day to win. His day to win. They came back, I believe, after the race with ankle chips, so that's why the horse was a little bit on the sideline in the early spring. And then before that, the Gallant Bob at Park, 6 furlongs on the 25th of September. The horse won by 6 3/4 lengths at 5 cents a dollar, earning a 110 career best buyer. This horse basically destroyed the field. It wasn't the world's toughest field, but really destroyed the field. And then a race I thought was one of the best races of the Saratoga meeting of 2021, the Allen Jerkins at Saratoga. 7 furlongs, the horse won by a neck, and nearly got caught by Life is Good, who was fighting back. This horse was a little bit wide and took a very game victory that day. Nothing bad about that race, and all the horses that came out of that race have always run good races. Life is Good came back to win the Kelso after that, won the Brewer's Cup Dirt Mile, won the Pegasus. following the third place finisher when next start out had a decent season after that. So this horse is that Alan Jerkins in 2021 was a great race. But Jackie's War, he does run these clunkers. Ran a clunker in the Woody Stevens last year where the horse finished second by a neck behind ran the clock, where the horse just didn't break that well and was just a little bit behind the A ball late, just really couldn't get there. If the horse would have broke a little better, would have probably won. But back to here off a very good run last time out, 2 to 5. Let's use her. Use him. You always say hers. Pardon me. It's the Jackies. But I think your second likeliest winner here would be a 6-horse Sound Money. You're definitely using your multi race. This 4-year-old called by Flatter. Chad Brown trains. Iraditis Jr. gets them out. Most recently on the 7th of May here at Belmont on the slot, mile in the Westchester. The horse finished second by 5 lengths and was on the front end. Kind of hit the wall late. Just couldn't keep up there. Cutting back to 6.5. If Jackie's Warrior crumbles late with a pace meltdown, I think this horse could take good advantage of it. 2 back at Aqueduct, a mile and off 6.2. The horse went by 1 3/4 lengths, a little bit wide, but he got the job done there, and then had a very good third place finish in the winter at Aqueduct. He is stepping up a major class here, but I think he's the kind of horse, if there's going to be a pace meltdown, he can get the job done. Training well, 9 to 2, definitely using your late pick 4. But to recount my selection for the ninth from Belmont, it is the grade 2 True North. Let's take the 3-horse Jackie's Warrior, give kudos to the 6-horse Sound Money, 3-6-5-4 Super, 3-6 in your pick 4. The 10th race from Belmont's featured on the program. It is the New York Stakes. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse $750,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We feel the 7 horses heading on the inner turf course, the distance of ground of 2,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 1.25 miles on the Belmont inner turf course. 2,000 meters, 1.25 miles inner turf course. My top selection here, we're going to go take the number 2 horse Rougier. We'll go 2-7-5-3 in the superfecta. 2-7-5-3 super. Top selection 2 horse Rougier. 4-year-old filly by Territories. Chad Brown trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing, first off at the bench, came on the 14th of May at Belmont. Mile 16th inner turf course in the grade 3 Bugay Stakes. And the horse went by 3 lengths there. And closed up from nowhere, sat back early, a little bit wide, but when this horse got the turn of foot, this horse put on a show, earning a 97 Buyers first time in the round barn. I thought it was a very good race. Coming back to a 1.25 with this horse I think really wants to go with. I think the horse could really run a good race here today. First start stateside came the Brews Cup Filly Mare Turf at Del Mar. Mile 3/8 on the 6th of November, and the horse finished 7 by 7.5 lengths that day. And I don't think this horse appreciated the very tight turf course at Del Mar. Had to check a few times, a little bit of a trouble trip, and just couldn't get going that day. Basically sat in the same position all throughout the race course. And then before that, in the Group 1 Prix de l'Opera and Long Shot, 1.25 very heavy ground, 3rd of October. The horse won by a nose that day and closed up for nowhere on the very demanding ground. This horse put on a show that day. It's hard to close up on heavy ground, but this horse settled well, quickened up nicely, a little bit wide, but timed the race perfectly. An all-around great run for this horse there. And then the Prix de la Noëtie at Deauville, 1.25 on the 21st of August. The horse finished third by neck that day and just coming a little bit too late, but still ran her heart out there. Since taking her to the 1.25, she's always run these good races. The mile might be a little bit too short, but 1.25 is where she really wants to go. She'll see finally a little bit quicker ground than she's been running on in Europe, which I don't think she liked the soft ground, but a little quicker ground is what she wants to do at 6-5. I know it's a short price, but I think she's a likely winner. The 7-horse Family Way is your second likeliest winner, I think. 5-year-old mare by Uncle Mo. Brendan Walsh trains. Tyler Gaffleon gets the mount. Gonna have to quicken up a little bit with the buyer numbers, but ran a very good second place finish in the Bewitched behind Warlike Goddess, and then won to Orchid before that over the 1.5 very nicely at Gulfstream, and a very good second in the very one before that at Gulfstream. Another horse, I think, her season last year, she wasn't winning, but she was always running these good races. She's back to a grade 1, next logical step. I'm going to give her a shot here at 8-1 if there's going to be a bit of a pace meltdown. I'm wondering here, is the 1-horse Fighting Lady going to be a bit of a rabbit, or when the brown horse is going to be a rabbit for Regier or Bleecker Street? That's going to be the head scratcher in this race because there's not a lot of pace in this one. But to recount my selection for the 10th from Belmont, it's grade 1 New York. Let's take the 2-horse Regier. Give kudos to the 7-horse Family Way. 2-7-5-3 Super. 2-7 in your multi-race. The 11th race from Belmont, the nightcap on Belmont Friday program. It is the Intercontinental Stakes, grade 3 event, going for a purse $200,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. A baker's dozen, 13 horses are going to the Widener Turf Course, the distance of ground of 1,200 meters, or the 6-furlong trip on the Belmont Widener Turf Course. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs here in the Intercontinental. Portable rails again are down. top selection, I'm going to go with the number 10 horse here. The 10 horse who is Flower Point. 10-1-5-4 in the superfecta. 10-1-5-4 super. Top selection, 10 horse power. Flower Point, this 6-year-old mare by point of entry. Shug McGahee trains. Jose Lizcano gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 7th of May at Churchill, a mile on the Churchill Distaff Mile, and the horse finished 5th by 9 1/4 lengths that day. And the horse just kind of stalked all the way around and never had the good turn of foot. Some horses haven't been handling the turf at Churchill this spring, with it being a new turf course. A little spongy, they've been all saying. It's not really settled in yet. So, throw that race out. Coming to Belmont with this horse run very well in the past, cutting back to 6 where this horse doesn't need to lead. Going to see a very good pace in front to close up with. I think the cutback and trip is what this horse really wants, and I think she could really run a good race here today. Two back, she ran the Plenty of Grace at Aqueduct, a mile on the inner turf course on the 16th of April, and she finished third by half a length, and she just kind of stepped back early, a little bit, she turned late, but, she needs something late there, and then before then, the Forever Together at Aqueduct, mile 16th and 26th November, she won by a neck, and from a tracking position, she was a little bit wide, but she got there in the nick of time. She's 4 for 2 on this Belmont track. She placed in the finished third in the Noble Damsel in the fall here, won over the 7 furlongs in October very nicely, and then won over the 7 furlongs last June here very, very nicely. Her average buyer on this turf course is about an 88, so that does keep her up to point, or to with these horses here. And like I said, she always runs her good races here. She'll see a good pace to run with. At 8-1, I'm going to use her. The one horse Star Divine, I think, is her second likeliest winner. Jorge Brady trains this one. John Velasquez gets the mount. Most recently in the Giant Causeway at Keelan over the 5.5. The horse finished second by 2.5 lengths and just couldn't catch Campanelle, who just had the speed on this horse. This horse was just second best there. Before that, won the Galway at Saratoga over the 5.5 and the Mellon very, very nicely, and then had a very good third place finish over the mile 16th here last season. Another horse from a tracking position, it wouldn't surprise me if she gets the job done. 10-1, definitely using your late pick forward. But to recap my selection for 11th from Belmont, it's the Grade 3 Intercontinental. Let's take as a top selection the 10 horse Flower Point. Give kudos to the 1 horse Star Divine. 10-1-5-4 Super. 10-1 in your multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.